Welcome to the ground floor on house tours. This is the living / sitting room to my studio. It's a funny room, this room, because when we bought this house over 20 years ago, and it's a 4-story house, you tend not to use every room. So this room was kind of a sort of a second living room that we never really lived in. And now it's an extension of my studio, and it means that I use it a lot more. It's not kind of really for guests or entertaining, and therefore it feels super relaxed. What sold this house to me all those years ago was this window. It's floor to ceiling, virtually, and it frames the house beautifully. And because it's such a big window, I purposely didn't want a high back sofa. I wanted a really low slung sofa, so it almost accentuates the window even more. Now, this room has been through many transitions in colour, from grey to black, and now I love it the most. It's Crosby, so it feels incredibly cocooning, and it's very soft, and it echoes the colour of the outside of the house. And then the fireplace is painted hemp, which is a paler colour, but really works because I just feel when the light hits it, it just feels incredibly soft. Now, because I've gone quite dark, a lot of my accessories in the room are light because I love that juxtaposition between quite dark walls and lighter objets and furniture. This is our Ajax console, which I've taken the legs off and used it as a really long super coffee table. And I'm often here a lot talking to the team via Zoom or on the phone and having a load of reference materials around me. And I love that I can just kind of stretch out all over the place. Then I've taken this kind of palette, this soft palette, and put these wall baskets on the wall, which sometimes you don't always need art. So that, I think that really makes a big difference. And then there's lots of lighting everywhere because I'm obsessed with dotting lighting all over the place, from the Ryland here to all of these beautiful little lights. So in the winter and in the cooler months where we get less light, it just feels so super cozy. In every room in this house, there's a pendant or chandelier, because when you've got something coming down from the ceiling, it adds grandeur. This is an old vintage chandelier that I absolutely love, and it draws the eye up. And then with the alcoves, I've purposely, I don't really like symmetry, so I've got a piece of art here which I found years ago, just kind of anchoring that alcove. And then the other alcove, just large botanicals, so I don't always want to match. And I think that looks and works for me really beautifully, because asymmetry is kind of harder to achieve, but it's more intriguing for the eye. Something that I do a lot and I'm quite obsessed with in this house is taking a piece of furniture, for example, this vintage Indian console, and getting something else really similar in style in a different room. So it's in my hallway here. So as you transition into my world and you come out of the hallway into my studio living room, the pieces are really beautifully blending together because they're from the same era. And I think when you do that, it gives your house, because we have to look at every room in the house, but see it as one picture. It gives every room in the house a real common kind of tie. And I don't necessarily use this in lots of other rooms, but I just think from the hallway, which is this inky, beautiful Bedford brown with my Indian console, into my Crosby room, which has got pinky brown undertones, it just feels like you're transitioning into my world where everything seamlessly blends.